And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the after show. Bum. Intro. Debo Bop, you're late. Our clocks are 5 minutes slow, so we're actually on time to our clocks.
10 minutes slow, you mean?
Actually, I set it for 6:20, so we're 5 minutes late, which in my world seems pretty on time to me. You know, we're letting people come in, so welcome. Great to have you here. Jamie, great to have you. Hello. Asif, welcome. Hello. Cade. Yeah, this week's topic is juicy. It's a good one. Cade, what's up, my tech homies? I want to tweet this out. Let people know we're live. We're on the tube of the Ube, and we're talking about the worst cell phone plans on Verizon.
No, of all time. Finale.
The grand finale.
Yeah.
Mark is here. Oh, Mark, are you also commenting on our timeliness? New watch time. Yeah, we're here. The worst cell phone plans are in Canada. Yeah, Toronto plane spotting. You have brought that up. Our condolences.
Big rip.
Big rip, for sure. All right, I'm tweeting this out.
Hello, Andy. Hello, everyone. We're just tweeting this out to get this going. We're going to be talking about the worst cell phone plans from all the carriers. It's going to be like the little finale of our little mini-series we were doing a few weeks back, previous to the move. So we're going to be finally concluding that epic comparison up. And then we have plans to show off a really cool broadband map that shows like where broadband's needed at. We kind of touched on it. I accidentally touched on it during the podcast because in our Notion doc.
Yeah.
But Stetson found an awesome interactive map that we're going to show off to you guys. Among some other cool stuff from like US Mobile. So definitely some juicy topics. We're just kind of letting people sort of work the way in here real quick because we don't want to leave anybody too far behind.
Wow, Blind Droid Tech, thank you so much for your comment. I really appreciate hearing that. We're very happy to be helping you out.
Is that the new... Yeah. I got the beachfront property, the huge TV that we talked about in my living room, massive couch, totally me.
It's great. Mountain view in the background, too. I noticed that.
Yeah, it's so legit that there's sometimes a little corner of a different reality that just peeks through.
All right, we got a question before we get started here. Stetson and Dennis, T-Mobile N41 with 5 gig backhaul or Verizon ultra wideband?
I don't know if I understand the question.
I think it's just like do you want N41 with 5 gigabit backhaul or do you want Verizon ultra wideband?
Ideal world ultra wideband.
I would say like if it's in my region ultra wideband, but like if it's coverage-wise, I'd rather have a lot of N41 with 5 gig backhaul.
Well, that's why I meant by I don't understand the question. Like, is he saying, like, what would I be preferred to connect to? Because millimeter wave, right?
Yeah, yeah. But, like, in my area, I think I'd rather have N41 because I get more of it out and about doing stuff.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. All right, well, I think that's it. Let's dive in here.
Sure. Do you have the little survey thing?
Oh, yeah. This is actually the tier maker.
Oh, you renamed them for people. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now, when we send out the vote, is it also worded that way?
There's no voting here. It's.
Oh, we're just okay.
We're ranking them. Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't have time for the vote, but yeah, I tried to pick the worst ones of the worst that I could remember. And I may have missed some, and I apologize, but we tried to get the absolute worst. These are bad. These are really bad. Dennis, where do we start? Do you want to start with like the ones today or do you want to start with like the older ones?
Let's start with the ones today.
All right, let's start. The one we just reviewed, AT&T Unlimited Starter. $65 a month, unlimited. Sounds like a good deal, right?
Meh.
Nah, it's not. It's not a good deal. Why is Unlimited Starter not a good deal? Well, Dennis, why don't you explain the situation?
Well, because you're deprioritized and AT&T has a prepaid unlimited plan that's actually the same level of priority as extra, that is literally the same cost, if not cheaper, depending on what deals are going on. And yeah, I mean, there's just better options literally from AT&T themselves. Like, there's no reason to pick that plan under any circumstance.
100%. Check this out. Right now, AT&T, their prepaid plans page isn't working. Are you kidding me, AT&T? This is your one job. How are people supposed to give you money if they can't sign up for your plans?
Maybe they're working on some new ones.
All right. This is what I wanted to point out. You get unlimited data, 22 gigs of postpaid priority data, tested and confirmed to have the same level of performance as AT&T Unlimited Extra, and you're getting that for just $50 a month. Oh, I guess we're loading up the AT&T site.
Oh, you use Rakuten. That's cool.
I know, it's hit or miss. If people use Rakuten, then I don't get the affiliate commission. So if I'm clicking on an affiliate link in a YouTube video, I typically turn it off. But for AT&T, I don't have an AT&T link, so I turn it on. I think this just highlights how fast AT&T's website is.
My man, it's so much better than it was in the past. Remember the Wayback Machine?
Oh, okay. Well, that's the Wayback Machine, Dennis. All right. Let's go back. This is the website we were talking about later. Let's try and plow through this. All right. AT&T Element Starter. Is it nothing could be worse, absolutely terrible, very bad, it's not so bad, wait, actually kind of good?
It's not so bad.
It's not so bad. I mean, that's probably the truth of the matter. Most people are going to be fine with it. It's not going to...
I mean, my main two reasons for saying that is, one, compared to the other plans that we looked at when it came to looking at the worst plans, there was definitely worse. And two, the way AT&T is handling it, we saw the performance was acceptable.
Yeah.
Even being deprioritized in AT&T's network, it was still better than... Heck, it was even still better than postpaid priority with T-Mobile in my place, so...
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, I want to give a shout-out to... Who is it? Mark in the comments. So Mark is wondering, not quite sure why 3G keeps showing up. Mark, I just want to share with you something. You have actually leveled up, okay? So this is what he's talking about, this 3G icon. You leveled up. That means, Mark, you have been generously a supporter, a member of the YouTube channel for a month, and you upgraded yourself from Edge connection to 3G connection. So I want to congratulate you. You can see I'm still on Edge. That's what the icons mean.
No,
I'm still on Edge.
Mark, no, it's not a hint that you're super slow. In fact, Edge is actually slower than 3G.
I'm slower than you, Mark. You're getting faster. So I want to thank you for your support. Pretty soon you'll be upgrading yourself to 4G and then LTE. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's go back to this test. Current plan, Verizon Start Unlimited, $70 a month.
Again, it's pretty bad. I'd actually argue in Verizon's case, it's actually worse than AT&T.
It's very bad. Yeah, I agree with you, Dennis. And what makes it worse is that you can get literally this exact same plan for $45 a month from US Mobile.
Or $25 from Visible.
Or $25 from Visible. And Visible is unlimited hotspot.
Yeah, which is actually better.
So, yeah, it's very bad. Is it absolutely terrible? It's on the verge. That's what I would say.
It's on the verge. Like it's definitely worse than AT&T's offering because you're literally paying more, and it's worse because of Verizon's manages their network. So, I think this is a fair place to be at. We might be able to bump it up.
All right, and then that just leaves T-Mobile Essentials, $60. It's also deprioritized.
Yeah, but we've seen T-Mobile drops you down hard.
They do, yeah. I think this one's actually worse than Verizon. And I think what makes it worse than Verizon is the fact that T-Mobile Prepaid is cheaper and it offers you postpaid priority data.
Okay. I'm down for it.
I think it's absolutely terrible. I'm sorry, Essentials customers. All right, Dennis, those are the plans today. That's these are probably the top 3 plans you should avoid right there. Let's keep going. Dude, AT&T prepaid $2 a day plan?
I don't think anything could be worse.
Nothing could be worse than this.
Let's recap people on what that $2 a day play, how that plan worked.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know if they have AT&T website is working right now.
Oh, right. Well, basically, for people that don't remember from the stream that was a while ago, you literally paid $2 a day, and then you still had to pay for like every text that you sent, right?
I think it was $2 a day only on days used.
Or
and that might have been it. It was just unlimited. But I don't know if you had to pay extra for data or not.
I can't remember the details. But what I do know is this. The reason why it's the absolute worst is because why in the world would you have your cell phone off on a day? Like, the whole point of your phone is it needs to be on literally all the time, right? Like,
yeah, that's what you're paying for. That's what you want.
Like,
this comes out to $60 a month.
It does. And for $60 a month, you could literally just get like an unlimited everything plan from AT&T Prepaid and be golden.
You're so right. Yeah, it's just why? You know, why? Who thought that was a good idea? We might have to resort to I don't have this one on the website because it's that bad. Like, it deserves zero traction. Should we just keep doing AT&T?
Yeah.
This one, AT&T Prepaid, $25. That is actually this plan right here. Okay. No LTE, unlimited minutes, unlimited texts.
It's cheaper than the $2 a day plan.
It's cheaper than the $2 a day plan. So, yeah, Dennis, maybe it's very bad. I think it's absolutely terrible. That's where I would put this one.
Sure.
Just because you can get that with almost any plan for like $9 a month. Like, it's so cheap. Oh,
and
Dennis, this
doesn't matter too.
This was your plan. You found this. It was the AT&T monthly iPhone plan way back from 2007, 2008, I want to say.
Right. And if you remember, you had to pay for unlimited texting. It was like an extra $30 if you wanted unlimited texting.
Right.
Unlimited data was included, which was cool, but the minutes is what was like really expensive. Like, depending on how many minutes you wanted, you could be talking upwards of like $220.
Absolutely insane. Yeah. So here's the article. I mean, look at this. Look at that. For iPhone 3G minutes. Oh my God. 200 SMS text messages not included. That's an add-on.
Yeah, so an extra 200 messages is $15. If you wanted unlimited, it was $30.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. Oh, wow. It was so bad.
Yep, $30 for unlimited.
For family, yeah, for family.
Oh, for family talk. That's for family talk.
It looks like it might have been. Yeah, it might have been 20. Or no. Yeah, maybe it is just per text. But yeah, that's wow. I mean, honestly, at the time, I think it was decent, but now I don't think anything could be worse than that.
At the time, it wasn't decent, dude.
Absolutely. Where do you want to put this?
As someone that was on it, like, it wasn't decent.
Audience, where do you think we should put this? Is this a very bad? Is this a absolutely terrible? Where does it belong? I think, let's see if anyone comments. Marketing Canadian plans are way expensive. Very true. Cuban Classroom fan 432 reminds me of Altel 2007. Kate is just saying nothing could be worse. I think in today's era, having limited text messages, I don't think anything could be worse than that.
Yeah, I mean, two-factor authentication, man.
Dude, nothing could be worse than that.
I mean, your minutes were limited, too.
Unbelievable. I don't know if people got anything done. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Rod is asking, do you guys ever review Straight Talk, Simple Mobile, Net 10, Walmart, Family Mobile, Total Wireless, or H2O Wireless? Those
the answer
are all
is yes.
Yeah, they're all on the list, and you can find information today on bestphoneplans.net, and you will see review videos in the future when I get around to them. Patreon supporters get to vote, though, so maybe if you want to vote.
And I will just say, we've actually touched on all of those carriers when we did our ranking for best cell phone plans, which was a mini-series that we did. So if you want to go back and watch previous live streams, we did comparisons for the best cell phone plans on Verizon's network at different price brackets, the best cell phone plans on AT&T and T-Mobile. That would be a really good, helpful resource if you're considering. Long story short, though, I would not recommend Straight Talk. There is better options. Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're doing a T-Mobile network, Mint Mobile is pretty much king for that front. If you want Verizon, I would argue US Mobile is probably the best. And then if you want AT&T, going straight to the source with AT&T Prepaid is your best option.
Yeah, I agree with Dennis. I mean, there's some variances in there. Like Red Pocket's decent for AT&T. They just launched 5G support and they're pretty affordable. But for that overall experience, AT&T does tend to be a little bit better.
And as a spicy twist, too, I will just say as a caveat for the Verizon one fair contender that can be worthwhile if you have either Spectrum, Xfinity, and was there a third carrier, cable provider?
I think those are the two, Dennis. It's just Spectrum Mobile and Xfinity Mobile.
Yeah, so if you have either Comcast, Xfinity, or Spectrum, they offer a cell phone service that runs off Verizon's network, and it's also a reasonably priced option that is good, especially if you're doing like their tiered data buckets where you do get priority data. In fact, actually, no, wait. Spectrum's unlimited plan did have priority data. There was an option.
Yeah, Xfinity offers an upgrade as well. I think Spectrum includes it by default, though. I think that's
Spectrum included it by default. Xfinity has an upgrade, but they're also decent options if you're with them just because of the discounts and the stuff they're going on. I know I was reading on Reddit they're doing an iPhone SE deal. I'm not a big fan of financing, but if that's your thing,
Xfinity, I just want free phones from everyone.
That would be nice, and not like the T-Mobile version. Like, give me the good Verizon version.
Yeah, none of that stuff. Oh man, this was good, Dennis. T-Mobile prepaid, $50 for 100 megabytes. Let's see if I can find this one.
Oh, and Mark came in clutch. Yeah, Atlas. That was the other cable provider. Thank you, Mark. Although I think Atlas does AT&T, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh man, look at this site. Throwback 2012, baby. 2012. This is it. Oh, guys. $50 a month, unlimited talk, unlimited text. I mean, already better. Like, going from 2008 from the limited minutes plans from this to this, already a huge leap. But web unlimited, first 100 megabytes at up to 4G speeds. I mean, at the time, not bad. I don't think anything could be worse than this right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're comparing against all time, though, so.
I would say I would burn through 100 megabytes in a single speed test.
I would say that it's not the absolute worst. I still think the AT&T plans are still
they are worse, yeah.
So I think absolutely terrible would fit nicely.
Absolutely terrible. I think that's a nice little fit. T-Mobile, $40, 500 minutes. I think this was just the minutes plan.
It was, I believe.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Is it on this page at the top? No. Is it at the bottom? No, I think it's like browse plans. Oh gosh, do I try and click on something, Dennis?
I don't know, man.
Is it gonna load? I think we both recall this was just a talk only plan.
I'm pretty sure.
So, yeah, let's take a look.
Nothing could be worse than that.
Yeah, nothing could be worse. No texting, no two-factor authentication. You wouldn't be able to log in anything. Well, actually, you can use the calling feature of two-factor authentication, but nothing could be worse than that. Like, let's be real.
Or was it the one where it had 5 gigs of data? And
no, that was the $30 plan.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was actually good. Like, that lasted a long time.
Yeah, that was a good plan. But it wouldn't have made our way on this. But okay. We have what? Like 2 more Verizon options, I think, right?
Yep, 2 more. Share everything. Is this one still offered?
That was the ice cream cone boys.
Yeah.
And you picked, I think, the small ice cream cone.
I'm
more of a double scoop kind of guy.
I think it was these. Something like that. It was like $40 per smartphone line. unreal. And then you had to pay for monthly account access. Dennis,
I remember those days.
This means 1 gig for one line was $90.
And I believe that's what you priced out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I forgot. I should have been sitting down for that. I was not ready.
Definitely up there as absolute worst.
Nothing could be worse than this.
Yeah.
And they were like proud of that announcement. How times have changed.
Oh, dude, could you imagine if Verizon tried to pull that today?
Yeah, that would not fly. They would lose everyone. AT&T would be delighted until their network got congested. Okay, this is the last one we have, Dennis. Verizon Prepaid, $60 a month. Let's see what we got.
And Mark, I agree. We should definitely do shows on other countries. I want to do Canada more in depth.
Oh, Dennis, I love that idea. You know what? That is an outstanding idea.
Maybe that'll be the next mini-series for us.
All right. Verizon Prepaid. Website is loading. Already off to a good start. I want to compliment the Verizon Wireless dev team for making this possible. Not only did it load, but I felt like that was pretty quick, pretty snappy. And they got a nice little animation going on, so props to them. But, all right, let's stop this.
Tim, to be fair, I guess we could have talked about worse Sprint plans. We didn't because they didn't exist.
Sprint was just too bad to begin with. We couldn't, you guys. No.
Let them rest in peace. Let them rest in peace.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. But yeah, this is the Verizon prepaid plan. It's unlimited. It's $65. Unlimited Plus is $75. I mean, what's going on here is that Visible is just infinitely better and under half the price. So,
yeah, but in comparison to the worst plans that we're actually comparing,
not that bad.
I would say not bad at all.
Yeah. Actually kind of good. No, it can't be better than Starter. I would say it's here. It's not so bad.
But cool. We kept our promise. We did our little season finale. That's
pretty much
how
it.
It's looking.
I think, Dennis, the AT&T plan you found, I think you found the winning worst plan.
Thank you. I'm glad I could scar many a people with the memories of the tragic days.
The horrors.
The
Think
dark
of
ages.
How much money per year that is. Over $1,000 on a cell phone bill.
I mean, that's just one line, dude. I mean, when we were pricing out like 4 lines, dude, we were talking like $300+.
Unreal. That's $3,000 per year. $3,600 per year. I don't know anyone who would spend anywhere. Oh God. Oh my God, you guys. I need to cancel some plans. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh man, yeah, dude. I priced it out at the beginning of the AT&T video, and current monthly bill is like probably over $300 a month.
Gotcha. So. But dude, let's move on and groove on to those awesome tops you found. I want to pull up that interactive map. I think that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, here I'm gonna put it in the chat. Here we go. Chat, go crazy. Oops, I missed the return key. Yeah, this is great, Dennis. I will message it in the private chat here, which I always forget about.
I have it in the Notion.
Oh.
But I'm going to fix my window.
Dennis is having window problems over there. I think now's a great time to talk about these green screens, though. Am I right? Look how awesome these are. I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Dennis for helping make this possible. And his new apartment is looking great in the background. That was a joke, by the way. Should we ruin the joke? We're on green screens. But they look real, right? Look at this. It's pretty good. I think they're great. What's the audience chatting about? We've got visible ping times. Yeah, Sam. So if you have Visible and you don't live near one of their servers for reference are in New Jersey and Colorado, your ping times can be really high. Even if you live in Colorado and New Jersey, your ping times can still be very high. Yeah, Northern Florida, that's going to be high ping. That's probably why. I would consider US Mobile. Same priority as Visible, but way better ping times. It's identical service to Verizon Prepaid. Oh, hey, Max. Just tuning in now. We just finished the absolute worst plans of all time. And the worst one we found was 2008 AT&T's iPhone plan is what we determined. And yeah, he's concurring with you, Samuel, that visible ping it's just high. I mean, yeah.
So cardboard is not a good permanent or temp solution for.
I have cardboard in my windows right now. I think it's great.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, I also have blackout curtains. Like it's a layer of cardboard and then blackout curtains.
Well, this one is clearly seeing some sun because it is just folding in on itself. So, be gone.
Dennis banished it. Wait, Mark had a great comment, Dennis. He said, I thought Dennis had won the PA lottery with that background.
Listen,
Whoa.
folks. If I won the lottery, the first thing I would do is I would fly up to meet Stetson, and we would do a collaboration, like in person, like just testing out the speeds. We would check out. Stetson, what's your closest city again?
Denver,
right. We would go to Denver and eat whatever Denver is known for. What is Denver known for when it comes to food?
I don't know. Dennis, can we solve this with a quick Google search?
Sure. I mean, Pittsburgh's known for Permanis. And Chicago's known for deep dish pizza. I'm sure Denver.
Rocky Mountain Oysters, Steakhouse Classics, and it's eponymous? Omelet.
Sounds delightful.
I don't know. What they're known for to me is the delicious Verizon ultra wideband 5G network.
Also, Carlos, thank you so much for the super chat, my man.
Yeah. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Carlos, I said I'm going to DM you. I will DM you. We'll get something figured out. I want to test out Los Mobile. I want to give it a fair chance. I was so surprised, and I think just the setup I had for the configuration, I wasn't getting what I was expecting, and it was really appreciated your input on what was going on there.
Well, as someone that had it and used it, I had a great experience with it. I'd give Carlos double thumbs up.
Double thumbs up.
And I appreciate he has a website cooking now, too, which is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let's give that a shout out. Check this out. Los Mobile. Please tell me it's losmobile.com. Nope, it is not losmobile.com. It's like really close. Here we go.
Carlos messaged you in the now and during the podcast. He said he would send you a first and an iPad line, and he's asking.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be great. Wait, do I need an iPad to use that? All right. Check this out, ladies and gents. I think, Dennis, I gotta do a review. I mean, I have the service. Patreon supporters want AT&T review next, but believe me, I have so many plans to review. So check this out. We've got Los Mobile unlimited phone plan, $65. Oops, I clicked on it with my trackpad. I'm sorry, you guys. And then we've got tablet unlimited, $70. Oh man, and unlimited hotspot checkback, $80. Los Mobile coming at you with the deal. Absolutely outstanding. Max Tech Studios, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate your support and your contributions to the community. Great to have you here. No. Is there like something on the actual YouTube stream? Let me check this out. I don't have it pulled up right now.
Also, you gave me an idea since we're going to be talking about this little, internet like coverage thing.
Yeah.
So you gave me an idea.
I gave Dennis an idea. Let's take a look at that now. Where did that map go? Boom. Let me reload this. We get a nice little welcome message. This is actually a pretty good map. And indicators of broadband need. Mark. Mark is helping us out to buy some lottery tickets so we can fly to Denver.
I mean, Stetson, if you want, man, we could take a crack at it, man.
Take a crack. We really appreciate it, Mark. Thank you so much for your super chat and your support. And I will say, if I won the lottery, I think my move, based on feedback from the speed test video, I'm buying 6 Verizon phones. No, 6 Galaxy S21s and speed testing for days. That's all there is to it.
You know what else I do, Stetson?
What else would you do, Dennis?
I know I just bought a house, but I would sell this house and then build a big single family house. And then I would have you live with me.
Take me. We'd have the best theater setup. All right.
Dude,
We got to
we'd be
get
good.
home internet. Dennis, where should we build this house? Maybe this home internet map can provide us with some answers. Wow, this is glitching
Obviously
out
in
for
the
me.
red is where we want it.
We haven't looked at this, Dennis. Let's get an understanding of the breakdown here. So first of all, I think the map key disappeared on me, so let's bring that back. Here's the map. All right, so we've got this is by indicators of broadband in need. We've got layers, legend, and we can see speed tests, MLab median speed, fixed broadband below 25.3, usage 75% or more of devices connect to Microsoft Update services via fixed broadband download speeds below 25 megabits per second. That's slow. Like 25% of the country below 25 meg. There we go. So let's peruse around. Do you want to do? Let's do Longmont. Let's fix the zoom.
Well, Longmont's probably all like beautiful and green.
Let's see what. This is a really trippy map. Does it not have data here?
No, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it looks like 43. Oh yeah.
I can't really see, to be
That's
honest.
gigabit. Can I hang on? Let me see if I can make this bigger.
That's better. Wow, perfect 1,000 by 1,000. That's
that's gigabit. That's also gigabit. Oh yeah, gigabit. Oops. I want to go up. I want to actually move.
What's funny is if you look at Pittsburgh where I'm at,
Gigabit.
even though Fios is out here and symmetrical speeds exist, like I would say like 98% of the things that I'm clicking on are not even close to being a symmetrical connection. They're averaging somewhere in the hemisphere of like 50 to 100 meg down, and somewhere in the hemisphere of 5 to like 40 upload. Which either means that all these were taken from Comcast results, or people just don't have access to Fios like I think they do.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I mean, it looks like I'm just checking Boulder right now. Yeah, they also have really good, almost gigabit speeds. The municipal fiber of Longmont has been absolutely stupendous. So let's do Pittsburgh. How about that?
Yeah, and one thing I will just say as well when looking at Pittsburgh, I almost find this map to have a very close correlation with basically income in the area. A lot of the places that are red, for example, like Aliquippa, there's lots of parts of Aliquippa that just don't have access to good utilities. It's not a very well-off city. They don't get a lot of tax revenue, and it shows. Although there was one test that I see in one little slip that was definitely a Comcast gigabit test because it's 987 down, 35 up.
I mean, yeah, what's interesting here is that, let me zoom in a little bit more. You have to go to the blocks. This is gigabit speeds right here. But these gigabit speeds are right next to this Spring Hill area,
Well,
which
goes
is
back
getting...
to the income thing I was talking about.
Wait, these are all getting
Oh.
gigabit. But why is it red?
I think it has to do with access as well. So households that have access to so it's households without internet access, and in these red blocks it's 17% of people can't get internet in these areas. So even though there's some results that show gig, a good fifth of the population can't get internet, for example.
Interesting. Yeah, it looks like that might be the case here as well. Fascinating. Yeah, it's just a fascinating report.
Pittsburgh's interesting to me as well. It's there's a lot of red surrounding the city, and pockets of places that aren't rural by any stretch of the means, and yet internet access is just not available to them, and it's really interesting is all.
Wild. Yeah, it's wild. So this is pretty eye-opening, and yeah, if you're interested, you can check it out. I'll put a link in the description or the live chat.
On that note, though, I wanted to share my screen for a second since we were showing off internet speeds.
Okay.
So if you remember earlier today, Stetson, I told you I ran a speed test with Comcast, and I did Fios as well.
Is this good to go?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Check this out.
So this is my Fios speeds. Uploads are looking delish. Download speeds looking okay. They fluctuate. They hover somewhere in the 600 to 800 range. Uploads are very rock solid, though. Ping, 20 milliseconds, though. Kind of surprising for fiber, right?
I'm surprised.
We go over to Comcast. What do you notice?
Download still looks decent. Upload dropped to potato quality, but the ping, though. Dat ping, though.
That is fantastic ping. But more importantly, remember, I'm paying for 400 meg. I'm getting 480.
Oh, shoot. That's great, Dennis.
Yeah, so I'm getting 480, and I'm only paying for 10 up, getting like close to 12. And that speed is rock solid, like around the clock. Like there is like very little fluctuation, like at all. The Fios connection, the upload, like I said, rock solid. Download though can fluctuate in swings of like 200 megabit plus or minus 200 meg, which I just found really ironic is all.
Yeah, absolutely. I just ran a test and I can show you what I'm getting. So Max was asking what I actually use, and I use a service called Nextlight here in Longmont, Colorado. They're a local internet service provider that's offered by the town, which is phenomenal. And this is great, Dennis. So we're paying for symmetrical, and I think the truth is our Wi-Fi router is a little old and not the primo quality equipment that you have, Dennis. But I'm still hardwired in, getting 633 down, 500 up, and check out that ping.
Yeah, see, that's what I expected from fiber. Low single digits like that, not 20 millisecond.
That is surprising that you were getting 20 for.
Yeah, but at least I'm getting my upload speeds, which is good.
Upload is great.
Which, as an update, that was totally a Fios problem. When they put in my permanent line and replaced the fiber, that's when my problems resolved.
So it was like that temp cable.
Yeah, basically, I'm going to take a wild guess and just say the construction vehicles that were running over it probably weren't doing too much good, and that also the original tech that did it just, yeah. But the second guy that came out was an absolute legend. He actually did a test at the ONT with me looking, so I could see everything was actually getting the speed to the ONT, and then I went in and plugged my stuff, and lo and behold, I was getting my speed, and I was happy.
That is phenomenal.
Chime, you're making me jealous about the fact that you have 2 millisecond ping on Fios. I don't know what I need to do to make that happen, but I'll take what I can get, and that's why I have 2 connections. I will play games on Comcast, ironically enough, and I'll do everything else on Fios.
Dennis, what is loaded, unloaded ping? So I just did a test on fast.com as suggested, and I was getting 590 down, 1 millisecond unloaded latency, and 41 loaded latency.
Basically, unloaded when the connection is not saturated at all. It's just that's your ping. Loaded ping is when you have a bunch of packets of information in queue. Your connection is fully saturated. That's what your ping is jumping up to. It's basically testing under high usage conditions, which I'll do for the stream a speed test. I can't do the switcheroo with between the Fios and the Comcast like I would, because obviously I would disconnect from the stream.
We'd lose Dennis. No, Dennis.
But I will do a really zoomed in share.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. I'm gonna minimize this. Let's take it off screen. You got to be a little bit careful with this kind of information.
I need to zoom in even more. Hold on.
Dennis is doing the zooming. But yeah.
Actually, it caps out at 500%. I'm not sure how you were able to
get 590.
No, make it so that you couldn't see the zoom.
Oh, on Mac you can just zoom in. I was zooming in the browser.
Okay.
Do you want to run the test and then just delete it, inspect it and delete it?
I was gonna actually do something even smarter than that. Snipping tool, and
just snip it. Yeah,
just snip it and then share this and then share the screenshot. Basically,
got it. Yeah. Kate is saying Spectrum doesn't really get congested. I don't think do wired networks get congested? I know if you're if everyone's using Netflix the Netflix servers can get overloaded potentially and slow down. But like, can just browsing on other sites slow down? Like, where is that bottleneck if everyone's online?
Give me 1 second to explain. Real quick, share my screen.
Yep, and we're adding it to stream. Boom.
And yeah, that's not great. I will just say under Comcast, my ping is like Netflix, it's maybe like 14 millisecond, like between 9 and 14 unloaded, and then loaded it would only be like hovering around 23. Anyway, to answer your question though about your question was, can a wired connection be congested? Basically, can fixed broadband get congested? And the answer is yes. Fixed broadband can be congested. Your internet speed is only going to be as fast as your weakest link in the chain.
Okay.
In your case, Stetson, it's your router. You're dealing with basically something similar along the lines of like buffer bloat. It doesn't have enough processing power or enough RAM or what have you to handle all the traffic that's coming at one time. So you get like a queue of information. That's where things like QoS, you usually implement something like QoS so you can prioritize certain bits of traffic over others for mission critical stuff. And as far as your ISPs are concerned, cable providers, they do a hybrid fiber coaxial network. Basically, you have fiber going to the node or sometimes to the premise, and then you have coaxial that goes to the last mile. A node will typically basically serve maybe like 200 customers, maybe more, and you're all sharing the bandwidth that goes to that node that goes back to the head end for a cable provider. And with residential fiber providers, despite what they may say, they use something called GPON. It follows a very similar approach, except it's fiber all the way to your home. But at some point, that fiber is going to go back to like the main strand. Like basically, big strand, there might be 64 pairs, 1 pair for each household. Verizon knows that your average household isn't going to actually use all the bandwidth. I believe with their current implementation of GPON in most areas, they have a raw capacity total of like 2.5 gigabits for the download and like 1.5 on the upload or something like that. I know there's other GPON standards out there that improve that capacity, but I know like I believe the most commonly like available one that Fios has is something like that. And with Comcast, I believe with their current implementation of DOCSIS 3.1, they have something around the hemisphere of like 2 gigabits per second download speed to the node and like something like 100 or 200 megabits per second upload to share upstream share with all their customers.
Yeah. Interesting. And then the idea is like no one's using all of that all at one time. So usually it's fine. And if everyone's online, then yeah, maybe things will slow down a little bit, but the capacity is there for like average uses and stuff.
I mean, there's not really a scenario where like all the capacity is gone. Like it just wouldn't.
I mean, max
happen.
People are doing what? They're downloading or streaming a 4K movie at 25 megabits per second, and you can fit however many users in 2 gigabits, right?
It goes back to what I was talking about with things like QoS.
Yeah.
So, you might have your elderly grandmother who, like, it's just checking an email, so she doesn't need to use all of her, like, speed for, like, she's not going to be using all of her speed for that task. Like, she's going to load it up once. It's going to be loaded in RAM, which means all that net capacity is free for someone else to use. And then you might have that person that's, like, running a server when they shouldn't on residential, which is why you always hear ISPs go like tisk, 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 and have terms of service policies that like go against that. And like, you'll find that people that use a lot of data tend to get punished or charged more. Even though the act of charging people for data isn't really effective because it's more about time of day. Like there's peaks and troughs during your day when you're going to see like more usage on the network. It's a way to deter people or get people to be more mindful. I mean, if you think about it, look at data usage in places or look at data usage on cell phone plans, for example, when we had data caps versus when everything became unlimited and no one cared, right? Similar approach happens, although with ISPs, I feel an extra bit angry because they double dip. They're charging you for a speed and they're charging you for the amount of data, which I think is bogus. It's their responsibility to actually upgrade their infrastructure to actually handle demand. But that's a whole nother argument, and I'm sure I'll get a bunch of comments saying socialist Dennis, but I am a big proponent of give me more options. I would really like to see a municipal fiber option like Stetson has, but We live where we live, and I got the best that I could possibly get, and I still think Fios is great because 10 megabits per second upload made me want to cry. So
This is true. Like, it's great. It's great for everyone. And I think if you're gaming, like, it is preferable to have that lower ping. Dennis, you're lucky you have Comcast. So you can just switch to that for gaming.
I'm lucky that I have two options at this area, and I have the disposable income to afford to buy both set options.
Yeah. All right. Our friend Debo Pop or Hyper Saiyan, I don't care, is asking, what does last mile mean?
Last mile is basically from the pole to your house, basically, is last mile, or from the underground.
It's the node, right?
No, so
it goes node to neighborhood.
So it goes node. So typically right now for most cable operators, it goes node, amp, tap, amp. Like it's node, tap, amp, node, tap, amp over a certain amount of distance because because you're working with electrical signals, it decreases over time, right? But basically it kind of has like a daisy chain effect. It's typically node plus 3.
Got it.
Although
okay.
companies like Comcast and Spectrum and Atlas and all the above, as they work on rolling out DOCSIS 4.0 and the goal for 10 gigabit internet over coax, they're going around different approaches to get those speeds. Comcast specifically is going to a node plus 0 model. You can see their trucks all over Pittsburgh as they dig up the grounds and get fiber closer to the premise. Node plus 0 basically means no amplifiers, so every customer basically is supposed to have a node, so they have more capacity to go around. And they're also implementing something called full duplex, so that they can basically in the way cable internet structure now is you have more downstream channels, so more bandwidth going for people that want to download content, and only 4 channels for upstream. But with full duplex, what it would allow you to do is it would allow you to actually, instead of only going one-way road, you can go back and forth on the same channels, which allows you to open up so much more capacity and be more efficient. But other networks are going to expand the amount of capacity that they're using on the coaxial network. They're going from 1.2 gigahertz to 1.8 gigahertz, I believe, is the goal to get more spectrum, and they're doing midstream splits and high splits to get more upstream capacity that way. But that's super exciting, and that has to do with cable at least. But the term last mile is just from pole to house.
Got it. Wow, that is so cool. Dennis, have you thought about starting a YouTube channel on home internet stuff? Where can people learn about this?
I thought about it, but then I realized I don't have the editing skills that you do, my friend.
Dennis, you do one take. You do only live streams. All one take. I don't know.
Also, I just want to answer one more of Debo Bob's questions because I like talking about this. He wonders when 10 gigabit in home internet will be available. I'm going to say it is available for the lucky people that do have municipal options. And technically it could be available to you if you had a really blank check and could pay for commercial internet. But
what kind of backhaul would you need from the node to support that? You would need over 10 gigabit per second for multiple users possibly who would have that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only world in which you get 10 gigabit internet to your home is if you have a literal metro level, basically commercial grade fiber. So instead of sharing something, it's fiber directly to head end. That's your connection. That's dedicated bandwidth. And you're going to need something like my Ubiquiti Dream Machine Pro, which has a 10 gigabit SFP plus port. You need special stuff to make that happen. And in the real world, definitely not happening anytime soon, unless you live in one of those rare places where metro exists or you have a really big blank check. What is more likely to happen, though, is these 4 things. One, I would say within the next, I'll give it 6 years, we're going to see cable operators start offering higher upload speeds. I don't know if it'll be symmetrical, but it'll definitely be higher upload speeds, which is going to be fantastic because work from home and everything else has just been driving towards that path. 2 is we'll see increases on the download speed to faster than the gig. I mean, Comcast has been doing that with their 1,200 megabyte commercials all over the place, and Google Fiber did that with 2 gig now, right? 2 gig down, something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So we're going to see download speeds get faster because shiny numbers sell, even though most consumers' devices are limited to gigabit unless they have multi-gigabit equipment. The third thing we're going to see, though, which is more exciting in my personal opinion, is just an overall general improvement in reliability across the board for all connections. Because remember what I said about the connection being as weak as your connection is only as good as the weakest link?
Yep.
Well, as everybody's internet gets inherently better and as fiber gets even more further into neighborhoods, we're going to see reliability improve like tremendously. Like there's a lot. I mean, fiber has its own issues, but there's a lot less problems to deal with than when you're talking about RF frequencies and keeping things in range. Like one of the downsides to a Comcast or a cable operator is one bad customer that has like say something set up incorrectly can kick up noise back onto the network and impact everybody else that's on that tab, causing poor performance. It's very common in apartment complexes. That's why there's things like Mocha filters and all kinds of other stuff in place. But point is, that's something you don't really have to worry about with fiber.
Is that why they typically encourage people to rent the modems so that they have more control over the software and configurations and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a money opportunity. Behind the scenes, we talked about wanting a good experience for the customer and being able to like sell your other products and stuff like that. But yeah, third is it comes down to control, right? There is so many different variants of modems out there. And look, I like to think that my average human is pretty smart. But not everybody is a jack of all trades. Not everybody is a nerd like me. And I know for a fact that most people, when they see a modem at Walmart, are going to see, oh, $60. It says it goes up to 400 Mbps. This is great. No, it's a DOCSIS 3.0 modem with like 8 downstream channels. Bad. Tis, tis, tis. Like, that's real bad. There was improvements that came about from DOCSIS 3.1, like low latency DOCSIS and all kinds of other things that, like, how do you explain that to your grandma, right? Like, just give her a gateway that you control. That way you can provide more support, right? You can see what's going on. When there are problems on the network, they have software that's probably tracking that stuff and reporting it back to, like, probably some fancy, throw in some keywords about AI and learning that tells them when there's, like, a problem so that they immediately know how to, like, before they even have to send someone out, you know, what's going on type of deal. What was the fourth thing I was going to say? Reliability, improvements in speed. He made me lose my train of thought. But there was something important else that we might see here in the near future.
Boom, you got it back.
Nah, I think we beat this topic like a dead horse. I know we're more of a cell phone focused channel, so we can go on to something different.
That's really cool. I've got to learn about this. Samuel is saying he has the Orbi CBR 750, much more stable than the panoramic Wi-Fi gateway Cox gave me.
I mean, look, obviously you can buy nicer equipment whenever you go out and buy the right thing, but talk to your average Joe Schmo, right? They're more concerned about price more than anything most of the time, right?
Oh, 100%.
They're probably not going to spend more then I'm going to say about $200 between like a modem and a router, which
I think you're right. I mean, because if you lease it, it's usually like $10 a month. So figure like, all right, $120 a year, like that'd be like the kind of budget.
Yeah. So they're going to buy some bottom of the barrel, dusty old DOCSIS 3.0 modem, which is going to cost them like $60. Or they'll do something worse. They'll buy a DOCSIS 3.0 gateway.
Oh no!
Which is a modem router combo. Which
Dennis, I can't.
Which Stetson, you know, I said behind the scenes, I don't like combo units. I think they're generally not good. Now, I did also say, because I was complaining about the G3100 from Fios, their router. Remember, I was telling you behind the scenes, their firmware that has problems.
Yeah.
It was also unable to get, like, I did a test. Like, it's literally unable to handle the gigabit speed they gave me. That's
wow. So this you said was your router?
No. G3100 is Fios's router. The one they gave me for free.
Yeah.
I was using it for funsies as a temp thing in between when I was moving stuff. Realized also it can't handle the speeds and it's missing some functionality. My Dream Machine Pro is the thing that works like a charm. But anyway, I was saying the G3100, not so great. It's got firmware issues, and you can look at Verizon support forums. It's all over the place. But I was saying in the defense of someone like, Xfinity in this example, their XB7 specifically, because we were talking about like multi-gig speeds and stuff, like we were talking about routers.
Yep.
It's one of the only gateways of my knowledge that has a multi-gigabit Ethernet port, which is pretty cool. And it does support Wi-Fi 6, which is pretty legit. And for a gateway, I was saying it's not terrible. It's average. It's solidly in the mid-range of like things, which for your everyday consumer is probably better than most things they would purchase. And it's so stupidly simple to use that you can't possibly, I mean, you might be able to find a way, but you can't realistically find a way to possibly screw it up. Like their app is just big buttons. Like it's not typing in like 192.168.1.1 to get to the admin page, right? They have a big old shiny app. They call it My Xfinity My Account or whatever they call it. And you log in with your Comcast account. And it's like, oh, parental controls right there. Oh, name my Wi-Fi right there. I forgot my Wi-Fi password. Well, let me just view it on the app. Or if you had their TV or something or their Flexbox, hey, what's my Wi-Fi password? And it's on the TV. Like,
wow.
It's just like so stupid easy that like if I was going to give that to my parents to deal with, like that's what I'd want them to have. The $14 that I would pay Comcast for my parents not to complain with me in that scenario, so I don't have to be their family IT guy, is worth. But I'm sorry for getting on a very, very long side tangent. Blind Droid had a good question about Los Mobile for me. So he asked, question for Dennis, using AT&T quotation marks Los Mobile on Note 10 Plus. Net Monster shows that I keep bouncing from 4-carrier ag to 3-carrier ag to 1 to 2-carrier ag. Is there something wrong with my phone? So when trying to troubleshoot something, it's best to start from the simplest and stupidest explanation and working your way up from there. So, and by that I mean you start by, have you tried turning it off and turning it back on? You'll be amazed how many problems that fixes. And I'm not trying to be funny. Like, well, I'm trying to be a little funny, but seriously, you should try powering it off, power cycling it, just see what that does, and then see if you connect proper. And then also maybe test other locations. Is it just this one cell site? Maybe there's something going on with that cell site or the coverage, or is this happening everywhere? Even better is if you had different phones to test with, or a buddy that you can compare with in that same location, so you can verify, like, oh, his phone's doing 5-way, but mine's not. Well, then maybe that points in the direction. Well, maybe it is my phone, or maybe it's AT&T if it's the same situation. You get what I'm saying? You got to just work your way up before assuming the nuclear option, which would be if it is the phone replacing the phone. If it was that, but hopefully that helps.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Wi-Fi 6E.
Ooh, that is definitely exciting. That's been making its way on the market. I kept my eye on it. I just got normal Wi-Fi 6 gear, and the rationale behind that is I don't have anything that could support Wi-Fi 6E, and it's going to be a while. And the first thing that would support Wi-Fi 6E would be my phone, but it would be the only device. So for right now, not a big deal for me. Shucks. I'm getting like 400, 500 megabits per second over Wi-Fi, which perfectly adequate. And my whole house is hardwired to heaven. So, but yeah, great. Glad it happened. I'm really happy the FCC finally released some spectrum for use for Wi-Fi. Looking forward to seeing what comes next for people that have to use Wi-Fi. I feel like this is turning into the Dennis show, so let me give it to you.
I can go with our friend Debo Bop. Would an M1 MacBook Pro be good for college work, specifically robotics? Yes, I think it would be outstanding. I guess I want to make sure that you're getting the laptop that works best for you, so I'd want to know like what apps and programs you're using. But my gut instinct is based on the performance I've seen, M1 MacBook Pro would be outstanding. Like if you're looking for software on it, I think battery life is great. And yeah, Dennis has a point he wants to make too.
I actually disagree with that sentiment because a lot of coding is just better on Windows.
That could be true. Yeah, like if you want a better Windows machine, I would look at whatever Microsoft is doing. They're actually doing a Windows 11 event in like a week. I think it's next week.
Yeah.
Friday or something.
They are, and also to say to like, when it comes to like robotics and stuff like that, like I think of coding, I think of like engineering, I think of like CAD drawings and different things like this. And if you're doing CAD, having a good graphics card is really important, which, sorry, the Mac does not have.
It's not, yeah, I mean, it's decent. I mean, it's amazing for what it does, but for some apps, it's definitely better to get that dedicated graphics card.
Yeah, and I just know there's a lot of, like, I don't know, Mac OS or whatever they're calling it now. I know it's just missing a lot of applications that you can only get on Windows. Like, they need to run on Windows.
Yeah, I think, Debo Bop, I would specifically look at the apps you're going to be required to use. And it might be for right now, getting a more affordable Windows laptop is going to be the move. And in the future, maybe you want to go Mac or whatever, but get what's going to be better suited for the apps and programs for sure.
I will also just throw out and just say this as a hot take, but unless you're doing schooling from home, most colleges have fantastic laboratories that you can make use of if that's not too much of an inconvenience for you. And I would recommend doing that because you're paying all that money to go there, and if you use one of their laboratories, they have a very powerful server that's going to be able to handle everything you need to do. And then just have like a simple laptop for just simple note taking and just basic stuff like that.
That's honestly what the M1 is best for, like web browsing and note taking, and that's what my experience has been with it. Like, battery life is amazing, and apps are just super snappy. It's literally like you're using a phone. It's that responsive. It's not. Yeah, they're great. They're great. I love mine, but yeah, please make sure it works for the apps that you need. It's got the graphics power or whatever you need. And yeah. Oh yeah. So Samuel is actually commenting. Every college will have a list of required programs. You will end up running Windows in a virtual machine or something. And my guess is Windows on a native Windows device like an Asus Z something is probably going to be better. Yeah. M1. That's what, like, Samuel, this is what I use M1 for. Like, it's Notes, it's Final Cut Pro, and some of the Adobe Suite.
Stetson, I just want to bring up one of the topics that you had in regards to US Mobile.
Oh, yeah. Was it their coupon deal or what?
The Amazon Prime deal?
Yeah. Guys, we gotta bring this up. This is amazing. There's also another thing I wanted to bring up. Let's see. So for those of you who may have missed it, US Mobile, our friend, our fam, they're doing an Amazon Prime Day deal, and this is the scoop. Let's add this to the stream right now. Here's what's going on. If you buy a US Mobile starter kit from Amazon, June 21st or 22nd, Prime Days, you can get up to $250 back. This is only for new customers, and the full breakdown is you get a promo code that gives you 50% off up to $20.83 each month for your first 12 months of service.
Which, Stetson, what does that break down to if I want unlimited with them?
Oh, no, Dennis, no. Oh, my God. That's like $25 a month or something like that? Taxes and fees included?
It is 45 minus 20.83. That is $24.17 a month for a truly unlimited everything plan.
Oh my God.
On Verizon's network, and as we saw, better ping. Guys, if you were looking for a good MVNO, that would be the time to hop on US Mobile. That is a steal of a deal.
Diggity. Hot diggity. I think that's video worthy. Like, I might have to drop everything and like pump something out on that.
Most definitely. I'm surprised they didn't reach out to us about it.
Yeah, I saw it today just on Twitter, and it was great. And the other thing, let me see. I'm going to pull this down and see if I can find it behind the scenes.
Ahmed, if you're listening, man, dude, missed opportunity, man. We could have been promoting this for so long for you.
Sponsor the podcast. Get that plug going. I wonder if they lose money on that, though.
I'm just busting chops. While you're doing that, though, I'm going to answer a question that was asked. So literally question mark asked, what should I get, Verizon Play More Unlimited or T-Mobile Magenta? I need help because I'm a switch in like a week. They both cover my state with 4G LTE, but I want quality. Do you know which one? So as many times as we've talked about on the show, your mileage is going to vary with any carrier, right? Like if you come to Pittsburgh, it's very, very clear that there's really one option that you want if you want the absolute pinnacle of performance. That's AT&T in my market. You go out where Stetson is, well, look at his apartment tests. AT&T was not stellar, but T-Mobile deployed N41 near him, and he's getting pretty rock-solid results, and I think Verizon is decent, too, for you.
It's very medium. I can do a test now and let you know.
I would just say as a broad stroke average, I would say Verizon, on average, is probably better for you than T-Mobile. And if we're specifically talking about Playmore versus just the regular Magenta, I would say Playmore is a better value plan because you're getting the free Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN bundle as a perk versus the standard poopy definition of Netflix on Magenta. And on the Verizon Playmore plan, you're getting 720p video versus the 40p cap. Hotspot, you actually get a lot more hotspot data, like high-speed hotspot data on the Playmore plan versus the T-Mobile Magenta plan. So for the money being spent, I think that the Verizon plan is the move. But if we're talking about Magenta Max versus Playmore, I think Magenta Max is the much better plan. I don't know how T-Mobile's network is in your market, and that's
you gotta try it. Like, I think that's what it comes down to. You just gotta try it. If it doesn't work, you can switch, take advantage of a device trade-in deal or something. If you
tell you what you should do, take advantage of that US Mobile deal that we were talking about. Big brain. See how the Verizon market is. Maybe you don't even need either of those really expensive postpaid plans, and you'll be happy with just US Mobile.
Oh man, then you'd be paying, what did you say, $24.17. $24.17. Unreal.
Literal fourth of the cost of what Verizon charges.
You would have so much money left over for all the subscription services.
JC Hernandez, by the way, asked, does US Mobile support ultra wideband at full speeds? Did we ever get an update on that?
Here we go. That is exactly what I wanted to talk about. So let's dive into it. We have a post. This is 2 weeks ago, 14 days. Post was updates on eSIM, ultra wideband, etc. on Super LTE. Basically, this user expressed kind of concern. We had heard these features coming. We hadn't gotten an update. And so Ahmed is posting with an update. It looks like 4 key things. First one, eSIMs. They're working on eSIM, and this is going to be a proper eSIM plan, not like the international eSIM plans, but a proper eSIM plan. Estimate was 3 weeks for the partition to get to us, 2 weeks for US Mobile to build their software layer for end users. And there were some issues testing a lower environment with eSIM partition created for them. So I think Verizon created a partition, something happened with that, and they're working on it. Estimate was 5 weeks 2 weeks ago. So current estimate puts this at about 3 weeks time. US Mobile is very ambitious, I think, with their timelines. So I would straight up say this is probably coming in maybe 1 or 2 months. Ultra wideband 5G, this is exactly what you were wondering about, JC. US Mobile is getting access next month. So this was 14 days ago. That means it was likely still in June. That means they're likely getting access in July. And when they have it, you will get access. My understanding is this should be full speed. There should be no speed caps, no throttling, nothing like that on ultra wideband. It looks like sometime in July, unclear exactly when. I would say by August, most likely. Again, tough to say. Visual voicemail and Wi-Fi calling already here for GSM on iPhone, so that's great to see. That means basically the T-Mobile network on US Mobile now is Wi-Fi calling, and it should be coming on Super LTE, and it looks like it'll be out before the holiday season with about a 90-day turnaround time. So, yeah, just before the holiday season. And yeah, there you go. That's the update. We'll see what happens.
I just realized I was muted and you didn't hear what I said. I said that's awesome that he's actually listening. That's fantastic news. But I was also saying Cade was talking about getting his own cell phone plan away from his family. He has an iPhone 12, and I want gigabit speeds, which
oh, Cade.
There's not going to be a cell phone provider that can.
Yeah, when you're getting cell phone speeds, like anything over 20 megabits per second is honestly great. AT&T typically has, I think, the best balance of speeds and coverage right now. If you're in a T-Mobile N41 area, then that's going to be awesome and super fun. And otherwise, Verizon millimeter wave is really the only thing offering gigabit speeds besides AT&T. But I don't know where AT&T 5G is.
And also, I just want to say real quick, you guys can clearly see I'm the biggest nerd in the world, and I love fast speeds, right? But in a realistic world, like, and I'm talking about for my home use, if push came to shove and like an economic downturn like just slapped me silly, I could get away with an internet speed that was only like 100 meg. Like, and I'm talking about for my home internet needs. You know what I mean? And that's like me like gaming on computer, doing the podcast that I do, all the heavy intensive stuff that comes with that, right? And if you think about what you're doing on your phone, you're listening to some Spotify music, barely uses anything, checking the emails, browsing Reddit, barely using anything, Google Maps. Your most data intensive thing you do on a phone is going to be basically either YouTube or like a FaceTime call. And if you're, like Stetson said, if you're getting above like 25 megabits per second, it's points of diminishing return at that point. It's just a speed test thing. It's just really cool to see that the capacity's there, especially during those times of congestion. And more capacity, the better. But realistically speaking, you get in 25 meg down, maybe like 5 megabit up, 10 up on a phone. You're golden. You're beautiful.
Yeah.
But Navin Bansel asked, why is Visible so slow? Stetson, you know the answer to that because I told you it before.
Yeah, it's basically the ping. Because of the high ping time, it adds a little bit of that latency, and the responsiveness it feels slower and creates that experience that feels a little bit slower to the end user. Once you get a data stream going, like if you're watching YouTube, yeah, maybe it takes a little bit to load in the beginning, but once it's going, it's usually fine. But if you're gaming or stuff, like that high ping and latency is really what makes it feel a little bit slower than other plans out there.
And the reason why the ping is higher than other providers that are on Verizon is because Visible doesn't have as many basically data centers to route their traffic.
They have 2 servers, one in Colorado, one in New Jersey, and that's it. So they're adding more soon, and I actually see Visible improving in the future. It's going to be a couple years in the making.
But Reverend Cellular asked, if we had to choose a phone to be our daily driver, but it can't be Samsung or an Apple phone, which phone would you choose?
What kind of hearsay is this?
Heresy, but
heresy is this?
But my answer is real easy. Google Pixel.
Oh man, Pixel 6 hype. Pixel 6 hype.
Yeah, dual SIM. It would because I still want to have 2 options. You know what I mean? It's the only Android phone that has dual SIM that I'm aware of.
OnePlus? Nah.
I thought about OnePlus, but dude,
Pixel
all day, man.
Pixel, that's my favorite.
Pixel. Reason being, Pixel works with all U.S. carriers. OnePlus does not.
Oh, Dennis, you are so right. I would have to go Pixel. I would have to.
And if we're talking travel internationally too, you know what I mean? That's.
What about Sony? What about like an Xperia? Like they've been pumping out some crazy high-end flagships.
I remember there was one that was like $3,000 or something, and it paired up with their new DSLR camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, I got Sony TVs. I think Sony makes quality products. I think their phones are pretty interesting, but it comes down to that issue again where, like, in the US, there's only one carrier you can use a Sony phone with, and it's T-Mobile. And even then, Sony doesn't really sell to the US market anymore. So I see Sony taking the LG route and hopping out of the phone game here soon.
Yeah, I think Google, like, their potential market is just increasing with the LG exit and whatever is coming out.
Yeah, rip LG. And if you have an LG phone, I recommend immediately finding a replacement device as soon as possible, because LG is not supporting any of them with updates, including security patches, which is kind of a problem. So if you got an LG phone, man, definitely recommend jumping ship. Let's see. If you had to lay out what you want for a Verizon Mix and Match 4.0, what would you want to lay it out? So basically, he's asking for us to build a Verizon plan that we want for new Verizon plans.
I mean, I want more priority data and more hotspot data. I think that's where Verizon lags. So give me 100 gigs or 200 gigs of priority, and let's go ballsy. Let's say 50 gigs of hotspot data. I'd be very happy with that.
Stetson, we're wild. Don't forget the Los Mobile unlimited hotspot.
Hey man, that's Los Mobile. They're pulling strings over there. I don't think Verizon has the capacity. I mean, they defaulted everyone to 480p streaming, Dennis.
720.
Well, no. It defaults to 480p.
Oh, sorry.
And you have to change it in your settings. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but T-Mobile does that too. So does AT&T.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
But no, I mean, basically, what I want to see from Verizon is taxes and fees included.
Oh, yes. And none of these trials of subscription services. I want subscription services included or not.
Yes, please. And on the topic of that, you know how they do the play more, get more craziness? Let's change the naming scheme up. Let's have like play more and whatever you would call a business focused plan. I don't know. Come up with a name for that.
They did do more. That was their business focused plan.
All right. Well, basically, here's my gist. They have two plans that are kind of the same, but one's clearly the worst version of the other. Basically, have your play more be the one that's for those people that like their perks, like their Disney Hulu Plus bundle and stuff like that. All well and good. Give it to them. But for the other version of the plan, instead of doing all those nonsensical thrills, make that the plan that has a meaningful amount of like hotspot. Make that the plan that has a meaningful amount of priority data, or just make it cheaper. Give me like a plan that gives me like full HD streaming. Doesn't have to be 4K, just 1080p at least, okay? 1080p streaming. Give me 50 gigs. I'm fine with 50 gigs priority. I mean, T-Mobile was doing that with OnePlus like forever. 50 gigs of priority. Maybe 15 gigs of hotspot.
Oh, come on, Dennis. Push them to 20. Push them to 20.
And give it to me at like $75. $75 I think is fair.
I think that's pretty good. Tax and fees included. That would be really good compared to Magenta. Like, that'd be such a strong competitor.
I mean, like, legit. I don't need any like perks in it. Just look, I'm never gonna buy Verizon Wireless. Period. Point blank. Like, I already told you the reason why. I hold a grudge. But if you were to somehow try to convince me your free Disney Hulu Plus bundle isn't gonna convince me, it just doesn't work because Disney Plus doesn't have anything on it that I care about outside of Star Wars. Actually, no, that's a lie. I was actually on my new TV. It gives me recommendations for stuff that I don't have access to, and one of the things it was showing me was like a Loki.
I'm watching that tonight. It's so good.
Honestly, Stetson, I might need to text you and ask you for your Disney Plus login.
Yes, I can potentially make that happen.
Okay, because my girlfriend canceled her Disney Plus.
What? That was her job. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
But yeah. Don't worry, I won't share it with her. I just want to watch the Loki series because I saw it on my recommendations. But I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Yeah, give me like basically I want to see like affordable. Give me like entry plan, like two like mid-range plans. Call it the Buick of the lineup, and then give me the Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce straight up unlimited everything for the data. Hotspot, we'll say 50 gigs like you were talking about. You can charge, let's call it $95. Out the door, taxes, all fees in, $95. It gets the good stuff, and it gets the Hulu Disney blah bundle, and maybe Apple Music included. Yeah. Then step down from that. Give me do the Play More plan, basically, but better. So like 1080p streaming because it's a streaming focused plan.
Yeah, you need that.
Maybe more priority data, maybe 75 gigs. I know that was a thing they did in the past, and bump the hotspot to 25 gigs for you, I guess, and have it at maybe like $80, and then do like the business focused one that I was talking about for like a little bit cheaper at like 75, and then have your entry level plan not be crappy like Verizon Starter. Maybe actually have like some priority data because it's postpaid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think they need to do that.
You can still keep the 40p cap if you want, whatever, and maybe throw in like 5 gigs of hotspot and call that maybe $65, taxes and fees all in.
Yeah, Eduardo was saying it should be 60, but I think with the plan you're describing, because he was probably thinking of the current one, the plan you're describing, 65 is fine. And I would say for me, like, I love everything you said, Dennis. I almost want Verizon to just scrap their current prepaid plans, buy US Mobile, and just make that Verizon Prepaid. I mean, that's effectively what it is.
I do not want them to buy US Mobile. I do not want them to buy. Dude, have you dealt with Verizon's customer service?
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, because like Stetson, their automated machine.
I'm sorry, Dennis. You're gonna have to wait on hold for 10 minutes.
Their automated machine is terrible.
Oh, we're transferring you to a different department now.
Dude, you set the call back.
And you've reached Stetson. Hey, Dennis, how's it going?
I'm doing great. I'm talking to you about files. Oh, you reached our wireless department. Let me get you transferred over. How? I had you do a callback. I only have a freaking FiOS account. Yeah, no. The last thing I would want is for that to happen. In fact, I'm going to make an extra hot take, a really spicy hot take. Verizon's customer service for FiOS, when it came to like troubleshooting my internet problem, like the whole reason my internet got fixed was just dumb luck. It was because they had to bury that line anyway, and I didn't know that they ran a secondary line to do underground. And it was just dumb luck that they fixed it. Because not only were they unwilling to send a tech out because they were saying like everything looked fine and dandy from whatever they were checking, but they were also going to charge me $100 to have a tech out to look at something that wasn't even properly like installed in the first place. Like, that is bananas. And then they try to sell me this like repair service or whatever, like their warranty on their wires and stuff, so I could avoid $100 tech installs anytime I'm having a problem with my service. Like, I'm gonna get this is super spicy, but I think Comcast might be easier to deal with.
What? Whoa!
I know.
Oh my!
Oh, I know. But listen, like I literally like the fact that Verizon has wireless and their FiOS is like these two really separate things, and that you can get mixed up. And dude, it's the wait times are forever. Their automated machine is bad. I literally used the app. I used the app to send me a callback. Like I didn't even try calling out. Just like call me. It calls me as soon as an agent's available, just to put me on hold. So the whole point of me using the app so it would call me so I didn't have to wait
so you just,
on hold.
Boom, I'm ready. Give me an agent. I'm ready to talk.
No, instead I get a call and I wait for 30 minutes on hold. 30 minutes.
Oh, this is where Google Pixel, the automatic like wait on hold for you feature.
And it gets worse, Stetson.
No.
I'm talking to them on a Saturday. So the department, like the whole reason I was calling them was I was trying to follow up about my bearing of the line, right?
Yeah,
because they told me that
you just had this line out in this construction area, just like out in the open, like a squirrel could come and like gnaw on that thing and be gone.
Right. So they told me someone would be like, I had called in originally one time, talked to a real nice guy. They're like, hey, it's set for Thursday. I'm like, cool. Thursday comes and passes. I didn't see any Verizon truck. Friday, Friday comes and passes. I was busy with work. It just wasn't like on my mind. So I was just like, I'm not gonna like waste my time. But Saturday, I had some time. I gave him a call, and I get like the department, really nice dude. Like I'm not gonna lie, the guy was really cool. But he was like, yeah, there's already like this open thing. There's the department you need to reach out to. You have to talk to them during like these set business hours. I can't put in a ticket, and it's already saying it's been like worked and closed. Like it's already been like done, even though it's not. But Sunday, the God tier tech that I was talking about actually came out. I caught him on a whim. I ended up peeking in my window. I saw him. I ran downstairs. I was like, hey, I'm here. Oh, great. And he explained like everything that happened. He was like, yeah, what happened was we actually did bury the line. And then the reason why I'm out is because I'm actually the one that changes it over in your ONT. I usually tell people that. But none of that was like told to me, I just got told like it was closed, and the guy was making it seem like it didn't actually get done, and I was under the impression it didn't get done. So, lots of like miscommunications and wasting of the time. I probably spent like maybe 3 hours in total spent talking like over with like Verizon. But that tech was God tier. He fixed my problems. I got my internet actually working, which is why I'm not going to call them unless like, I don't know, there's a real problem, because I don't want anybody to touch it, basically, at this point. I always feel like I have a interesting story to talk about with people, but...
You and your home internet, Dennis.
Well, people don't believe me. Like, well, I don't know if people don't believe me, because I actually have pictures on Twitter, but, like, I just have really bad luck. I swear it's something with like my family or something. Like we're just cursed. Like we're destined to have an issue, which is great because it leads to interesting stories. And I will also just say that if I ever end up getting into a leadership role, it gives me opportunities to provide improvements to any company I work with so that the customer service can be better.
Yeah, I agree. Private Info was asking if Mint Mobile is good. I use Mint as my personal provider. Love what they're doing. It's affordable. It works with my needs. They support eSIM, hotspot, all the features you want on a cell phone plan. So they use T-Mobile. You just need to make sure you have good T-Mobile coverage and you feel comfortable paying for 3, 6, or 12 months up front. And I give them the thumbs up. Like, I use them for my cell phone plan. I'm paying $16.16 or something like that per month. And it's great for me. So, yeah.
Eduardo, I was going to say that would make sense if you were dealing with Traxxon forward and going to Verizon. That makes sense.
Dude, that is an upgrade. Talk about upgrade.
Dude, I mean, look, every company is going to have their bad apples. Like, I'm not, like, stupid. And I will just, like, I just want to, I always feel like I go back and forth, but I just want to be clear here. Like, I'm really happy that I have Fios. Like, I'm really, really, really happy to have good upload. I was actually telling Stetson that since having Fios, I have used literally, like, over, like, 2 terabytes of data. Like, no joke. Like, I've just been going, like, balls to the wall, just using my internet like crazy. Been uploading a ton of stuff to Google Drive. I actually found out about that limit that you were talking about, Stetson. Downloading massive game updates. It's a beautiful, beautiful sight to behold. Let me tell you. But, it's always more fun, and everybody can relate to that bad story because we all have one. We complain, and that's how things get better. Because there's always going to be areas for improvement, unless it's just a one-man company. But
this is true. Yeah.
Mark said that don't worry, we've gone without internet for weeks at a time. Mark, I remember
what do you do?
Well, I remember when I was in state college, in my apartment my townhouse that in the townhouse that I was like renting a room in. They actually had like a third-party contractor that ran fiber, and it was they ended up buying IP addresses from Fios. That's how I had experience with Fios before. It was a 50 by 50 meg connection, but we went like a week without service, and I kid you not, I was literally going through like withdrawal like symptoms. Like, I did not like driving to campus to do my work, and that was the one time where I was like super happy that I had plenty of hotspot data because we had like one of those old 35 gig rollover plans with AT&T. So you can use all the data as hotspot. Dude, I ate up all the rollover data that month. I used legit, like, and it wasn't even me doing anything crazy. Like, this was actually just me doing schoolwork on my, like, desktop computer that I was more comfortable with doing, like, saving documents. I literally used, like, 65 gigs that month, which was fine because my parents didn't use jack diddly. And then I used, like, I think I had, like, 10 gigs of hotspot data on T-Mobile, which up in State College, T-Mobile is actually fantastic. T-Mobile is really good on college campuses. And, well,
some
in general.
Yeah. Speaking of T-Mobile, Ricardo's asking, is it worth it to change my plan from T-Mobile One Plus to Magenta Max?
Watch my horror story of when I made my change before going down that rabbit hole.
Bottom line is probably not. Like, you're probably better off with T-Mobile One. It's probably better, more affordable, and still meets your needs, so I would stick with it.
I mean, especially if you have free line deals, because like I don't remember what it was. It was one of our like weekend shows where like I tried to take advantage of a free line deal and it was just a never-ending nightmare. But I mean, it got resolved in a manner that I'm okay with and made peace with. But watch that first before trying to make any changes, because once you lose that plan, you're just done.
You're gone for. Sweet. Well,
wait. Oh, I was gonna say I'm having a good time, and I want to answer this other question.
Sure.
Comment or statement. Ryan said that he's stuck with Comcast. He currently pays $60 for 600 megabits per second. He's not complaining, and it's unlimited too. Yeah, dude, that's a really good deal. That's a really good deal. Yeah, I'm paying that for 400 meg. So that is a very, very good deal. Actually, Stetson, we were talking behind the scenes too about this. I part of me wishes that I didn't actually transfer my Comcast services Because I was telling Stetson that in my neighborhood, there was like door-to-door people. They were like knocking around. And basically, they were offering some really aggressive promotions. Specifically, the one that was interesting was a gigabit promotion. So their 1,200 down service, 35 up. They were offering that for $60, which was pretty nutty, pretty wild. I'm sure there was caveats, but like that's a good deal. And we were having a debate about like, is 35 megabits per second worth it? Like that price point, like. And Stetson, I think you said it's not bad. Like you would
it's not bad. I mean, the upload is like bad for me. Like I would much rather have FiOS, but for $60, like that's less than what we're paying for a symmetrical gigabit. So
yeah, I mean, would you make like if Comcast magically transported into your neighborhood and was available to you, and they were like, hey, $60, we'll lock that price in for 2 years, 2-year contract, that kind of deal. Would you make the jump?
I can't. Like, I love what Longmont's doing with municipal fiber, and I want to support that with every cell in my body. And the extra $10 is worth it to get infinitely faster upload. Like, instead of 35, 40, 50 over provisioned, I'm getting 500. And that's with a poor router,
Have you ever heard of Mediacom?
No.
Okay, they're another cable provider. They're on the smaller side. They're known notoriously for doing, like, really aggressive promos, but then really getting you on the second year. So like the way they'll structure it's like this. They'll say like 2-year contract, 1-year price lock though. And they'll do something like say gigabit for $40.
Yeah.
And then second year, they jump that puppy up like $90.
Yeah, I mean if you just have to do the math out and like what the end cost is per month.
Right.
That's probably decent, but like I just don't like that feeling of having my internet bill double.
I mean, to be clear, every cable company does that. Spectrum does it, Comcast does it, but it's what's the word I'm looking for? When you go from like say $80 to 105, it's not as bad as going from like 40 to like 95 or whatever,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But there's a lot of comments coming in. Should I get 410, 15, or unlimited?
Yeah, I've got this one. This is for Mint Mobile. So private info, I would suggest start with the 4 gig plan. Because here's the deal. With Mint Mobile, you can upgrade your plan at any time. And all you do is pay the difference in cost. So if you buy the 4 gig plan and you're like, oh man, I need more than 4 gigs, then you can upgrade to the 10 gig plan. And you just pay that difference between the 10 gig price and the 4 gig price. And then you can always upgrade from there. Like if 10 gigs is enough, you can upgrade to 15, etc. So I would start low because it's the most affordable. You're going to be saving yourself the most money. You can get a better feel for your usage. If you find you need more, then you can upgrade. So that's what I would consider doing.
Hold up. Samuel says he's had Mediacom before for a year.
Wow.
I am surprised because they're very small. If I remember correctly, they're only really in... Part of me wants to say they're in Massachusetts. Part of me wants to say they're in Pennsylvania. I don't. They might be in both, but they're kind of small. They're like an Armstrong. Also, Stetson, I should make my own website talking about cable. I know more about cable providers, I think, than I do cell phone service at this point. But Mark says local ISPs are the best. I actually disagree. Because Armstrong was technically a local ISP for me, and they were way more expensive for inferior service. I am much happier being with a big company sometimes when it comes to things like my home internet because I don't have to worry about them going out of business, for one. But two, there's certain perks to larger companies. Specifically, when we're talking about big companies like Verizon and Comcast, they are essentially like tier 1 providers. They have tons of their own like main backbone network, which means when you're trying to connect to something that's on their internal network, you don't have to go out to that open internet, which means your latency is like delicious. And then they also, because they're massive companies, can typically afford better peering agreements. So you get a better experience to something like Netflix, for example, because like Comcast, I'm sure you guys saw like Comcast has like basically big data centers where Netflix hosts their equipment inside on their network, so that way their customers can have the best experience and not have to go out to that open web. Because here's the scoop. Going back to what I said about the weakest link the weakest link in the chain is going to be what your experience is with your internet connection. You could have like 10 gig with a really, really tiny provider, but if they don't have good peering agreements, you are point blank, never going to like saturate that connection. You're going to be going over the open web. You're going to be taking multiple hops. Along those hops, you're going to see degradation in performance. And again, it's going to go back down to the weakest link thing. So, yeah, I mean, local providers can be good. Municipal fiber for Stetson is, that's like a government thing. That's delicious. But if we're talking like, say, look up Blue Devil Cable, they're big in Burgettstown. They're a small private-owned company. They're terrible. They're very expensive, and they offer inferior service, and they are a glorified monopoly, and I do not wish it upon anybody. In the same vein that I wouldn't wish Armstrong to my worst enemy. But we got 2 huge super chats from Lucas. First off, thank you for the super chat. He asked which network has the fastest speeds, and I would say AT&T on average. I think you would agree with me on that.
Yeah, I was thinking I think Verizon with their ultra wideband is gonna that's the fastest currently available, but it's just not everywhere. And then from there, I think it's just AT&T's LTE network. Like on average, from my testing in my market, that's consistently gotten the fastest speeds. I mean, T-Mobile, I think, is starting to come close with band N41. It's just not deployed everywhere, where AT&T's LTE, I think, is more consistent and robust. I think I go AT&T on this.
Yep. I stand behind that. Michael says his internet sucks here. Spectrum tried to combine 2.4 and 5 into a single network, and it's still slow. So that's not a Spectrum thing. That's just like a normal consumer router thing. There's a setting. It's called it might be, it goes by different names depending on the router, but it could be under like band steering. It might be under something else. But basically, if you just split that 2.4 gigahertz up in 5 gigahertz, you'll have a better experience. Connect to the 5 gigahertz on Wi-Fi. That's where you get more of your speed at. I will also just say real quick that your ISP is never responsible for your Wi-Fi connection. There's too many variables that can affect the performance of Wi-Fi. Especially if you're living in an apartment complex, but there's lots of congestion on that limited spectrum available to Wi-Fi. Whenever possible, try to hardwire, because that's the only real way to ever really guarantee that you're going to get the speeds regardless of what you pay for from your ISP.
Yeah. And it looks like Mr. Harris and Eduardo they're agreeing with us on AT&T, especially with the deals too. The iPhone deal, the free iPhone 12 deal this year was amazing, and things like that.
Mark responded about his local ISP offering fiber capping uploads at 300, and then followed up with with a local ISP you can also get local phone support, which is also nice. Yeah, I mean, guaranteed, not getting offshored is nice, but I've also found that the smaller local companies tend to do the whole like 8 to 4 shift type of deal, which for someone with my type of schedule isn't great. I appreciate the long hours that the big corporations do when it comes to their call centers, especially if it's like 2 a.m. and like the internet's out and I got work at like a few hours type of deal.
Yeah,
but let's see.
Samuel's saying I think Smart Connect is on TP-Link. That's the 2.5 5G sharing, so you may want to consider altering settings. And then thoughts on Cricket Wireless right now?
I think that they are a okay option.
Here's my take. So these are the plans, Cricket's current plans. For single line users, no. The reason no is because for $50 a month right now on AT&T, I know their website is down, but let's see if I can pull it up. Plans, AT&T plans. Here, this one. AT&T Prepaid, Unlimited Plus. You're getting 22 gigs of priority data, and it's $50. Like, this is an outstanding plan. HD streaming, 10 gigs of hotspot, and it's $10 cheaper than Cricket. Okay, so single line users, Cricket, not the move. This plan is always deprioritized, and 5G is limited to just the iPhone 12, and I think it's like a Cricket branded S20 Plus or something like that. So that's not the move.
But for family plans.
Yeah, the one area I think Cricket actually shines is family plans, because you can get unlimited at $25 a month a line or $33 a month a line if you want to upgrade and get hotspot and all of those features. So I think for families, it's actually a really good value. So that's what I would say. Those are my thoughts on Cricket.
Yeah. Cricket is I don't know. I feel Cricket's okay. Like specifically like what Stetson was putting out with the family plan thing, like it's a decent option. Single line option, you should just go with AT&T. Honestly, I almost feel like it's worth paying the premium to have just AT&T directly, just because it is that better experience.
Yeah.
Justin, holy Toledo, dude, $226 he pays for. Well, granted, he has their most expensive triple play package, so he has gig, but also props to you, man. 5 terabytes, man. You're getting your money's worth for sure on that internet speed. Good job, dude. Just be careful. You don't get into trouble. A lot of times, if you get like too egregious, you might get notifications. Like this goes back to when I had Armstrong, but I actually got like mailers in the mail when I had to like reinstall Windows because I was doing a big upgrade on my PC and wanted to do a fresh install of Windows 10 when I was doing the upgrade to it. And I had to download all my Steam games and stuff. And I got a letter in the mail telling me like I was going to be shut off if I continued abusing their terms of service and network terms and all that good stuff. But that was a while ago. I'm sure things have changed slightly. I don't think they'll do that because they want your money, but just be careful. DeWop, thank you for the super chat. He asked, is Boost Mobile is Boost Mobile better than Cricket / Metro? Answer is no. Absolutely not.
Is not, yeah. So the bottom line here is that Boost Mobile is on the T-Mobile network, and no, you're just getting a way better value with Cricket and or Metro, depending on your needs. I would even say, like, instead of Metro, I think Mint Mobile's a better value. If you need unlimited, then T-Mobile Prepaid, and Cricket also really good, but as we mentioned, AT&T Prepaid as well. Boost Mobile just isn't a good value. They're only on T-Mobile, and you're getting better options from Mint or T-Mobile Prepaid.
And Lucas Lebel, thank you for the super chat as well. He says, so Mint is $30 and Cricket's $25, both unlimited. So going to Mint worth the speed increase. So Mint's unlimited plan isn't really like true unlimited. I think it's what, 35
yeah
gig?
So it's actually a 35 gig plan. Sorry, I'm looking at it on my screen, I forgot. So here's the deal. Mint is 35 gigs, and from my research, like, the truth is most people use less than that. 82% of people use under 20 gigs of data per month, and something like 90% of people use less than 30 gigs of data per month. So it's not unlimited, so do keep that in mind. You do have the video streaming speed limit and the 5 gigs of hotspot. But like, if you have a family, that's where Cricket is different. Like, you need a family to get the $25 price on Cricket Wireless. Whereas if you get something like Visible, you can get the $25 price with Visible Party Pay. And yeah, so I mean, it kind of depends like what's better in your area. You may consider doing the Mint Mobile free trial. Let's see if they still have that.
Also, private info. What is Leica Mobile, if you can follow up with that?
Leica Mobile, I think it's how it's pronounced. But yeah, this is the free trial kit. And I don't know if I have a link for it, but you can try this out. And basically, like, it's pretty limited, 250 megabytes of data, 250 text, 250 minutes. But if you use the Ookla speed test app, you can run unlimited tests, because for some reason, T-Mobile just whitelisted that domain, and they don't count data at all to any capacity.
And
So you can just run speed tests on the free trial, see what the speeds and performance are going to be like on Mint / T-Mobile. If you like them and you're happy, great, go with them. If not, maybe consider Cricket or AT&T Prepaid.
And I'll also just say real quick, that's still plenty enough to test it out. And if you are looking for AT&T, was it Red Pocket?
Yeah, I think Red Pocket's really good for that.
Yeah, Red Pocket might not be bad either, even though we don't talk about them too much. If you're looking for a low-cost option.
Yeah, and Samuel, yeah, Boost is 35 gigs for their plan, and then it's basically the same as Mint. You're slowed down rather to 2G speeds, which are really slow.
So Stetson, what is Leica Mobile?
They're an international carrier, I think.
Okay.
They offer like a lot of international plans, and I think they offer domestic plans as well. So you can get coverage. And wow, that's a bad website. Oh my god.
Not as bad as AT&T's was back in the day, though.
Yeah. So you can see some of the options here. My gut instinct is they use T-Mobile just based on this pricing. I mean, decent international minutes. I'll have to do a deeper dive. That's kind of the truth.
DeWop, thank you for the super chat. He asked what would be a great option for 3 lines.
All right, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and actually check my website on this. So let's do.
And what is the name of your website, Stetson?
BestPhonePlans.net.
Yeah, guys, definitely check it out. Stetson consistently updates it with amazing blog posts, and it's really informative to stay like up to date on what's cooking. And he has some incredible baked-in links to make sure that when you visit their website, you're getting to take advantage of some awesome deals thanks to some of his referral codes that he has. So definitely should visit the site.
Yeah, here I can throw this in the chat if you want to check it out. So I'm seeing right now, like, my number one pick is probably going to be this US mobile plan. $25, unlimited. It's $25 a person. Video streaming is limited to 480p. You can get around that by using a VPN. Hotspot, most people don't need hotspot, but if you want it, it's $10 for 20 gigs of high-speed hotspot data, which I think is a really good value. They offer and include 10 gigs of international data with their eSIM plan. So if you have an eSIM-compatible phone, like an iPhone, I think it's iPhone 8 or newer, that'll work. As we saw, 5G access. They have 5G on T-Mobile and not quite yet on Verizon, but that's coming soon. Overall, I think it's a great value, and with 3 lines, you get to choose a perk. So if we go to US Mobile's website.
And small correction real quick, Stetson, eSIM didn't come about until the XR.
The 10R? No, the 8, I think the 8 had it.
No, 8 did not have eSIM.
Yeah, it totally did.
It definitely did not.
No, I got one because it had eSIM, so that's how I remember. And it came out the same year as the 10R, so they both had eSIM.
No, the 10R. No,
yeah,
it was the iPhone 8 and the iPhone X that came out.
Oh yeah, they both had eSIM though.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry, I was mistaken.
That's okay. Yeah.
I just never used it then.
Check it out. So this is the US mobile plan I'm talking about. You get to choose a perk. So you can choose a perk and they reimburse you for the service. You have to email them every month, which is kind of annoying, but you can switch perks at any time, which is great. And you just get that reimbursed to your service. So you got Audible, Spotify Family, Apple Music, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus. Yeah. So that's probably my number one pick. I think it's a great option on the Verizon network. AT&T network, I actually do think Cricket could work for that. I mean, this is their data plans, but let's do shop plans and features. I think it comes out to $30 a month a line, or $37. Like that's pretty decent. And if you wanted T-Mobile coverage, I would say, where did my website go? Here we go. I would say Mint Mobile, and you get individual lines, but then you can group them together with Mint Family and just share the same billing info. It kind of depends like how much data you need is what I would say.
Also, I'll just say Jason, he came in clutch, also mentioned that you'll get that unlimited plan for $12.50 with the Prime Day deal.
Oh yeah. Holy smokes. Oh. Oh. Yeah. So I would seriously consider doing that. I mean, yeah. There's other options to choose from. That's probably my number one rec right now.
But Stetson, I know I'm the reason that we went on for so long. I appreciate you for bearing with me. I can tell in your eyes that you're getting hungry.
I am getting hungry. How did you know?
Because I know you, dude. I spend more time with you than I do talking to you than I do with my girlfriend, man. So I know you pretty well at this point. But I think it's about time we wrap up this show. I want to say thank you for everybody that stuck with us to the end. I had so much fun, as always, talking to all of you guys. I appreciate everyone that super chatted. Trust me, your support does not go unnoticed and is the reason why we're able to keep making the incredible improvements like the green screens, the new camera, the lights that you can't see behind. So thank you for making this possible for us to do and kind of making our dreams come true. Not to be too corny, but we absolutely love this. And I just want to say again, if you're not a member of the Patreon, I definitely recommend that you do that instead to put your money towards. At least that way you can get some of those awesome emotes that you've seen people throw into the chat. You can start leveling your way up, get on to 3G as we mentioned from earlier with...
Dude, I'm jealous. I don't even have 3G yet. I should have joined earlier. I'm on edge.
Yeah, and get access to behind-the-scenes content. So just, again, thank you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys this upcoming Thursday.
Thank you all so much. We really appreciate it. Talk to you next Thursday.
Peace.
Peace.